Getting engaged was the happiest moment of my life. But every time he comes to Colombia to see me, we fight. I think we're still the same hard-headed people that we has always been. You know.
We are getting engaged. We're on the road to getting married. But we still have arguments each time Valentine comes and sees me. And we are still the same hard-headed people. But we are getting married. If that isn't toxic, can somebody please tell me what it is? Because god damn! Let's continue.
In the past 2.5 years, we've broken up several times, and we have some new unresolved issues that are becoming a really big deal for me.
Welcome to Love in Paradise's version of Ed and Liz. We have broken up multiple times. I don't care whether it's once, twice, 3, more, or whatever. Why are you getting married if you have broken up multiple times? Why are you getting married if each time you see each other, you always have an issue? Why are you getting married and you now have a new issue? Oh, because it's love. Toxic love? Let's continue.
Michelle and I met about a year and a half ago through a mutual friend. I was talking to Valentine already, but we hadn't met in person yet.
So there's now a new member to the party, Michelle. He met Michelle a year ago, or some time ago, and at that time he was still, well, he's talking about Valentine this, Valentine's that, but there's Michelle now. There is now Michelle in the picture. But who is Michelle? I mean, Carlos is gay, right? I'm so sorry, but let's continue with this madness that's about to come.
A mí me gustaba ella.
Una mujer.
Sí.
No pensé que todavía te podía llamar la atención el hecho de estar con una mujer.
So as you can see, Michelle is a woman that he got to know and he started to like her. Remember, Carlos is gay, right? You know, the problems with Carlos and Valentine don't ever get any better. They only seem to get worse upon worse. Come on. Just come on.
Even though I identify myself as gay, I'm actually bisexual. I've always been attracted to both men and women, and I have dated women before, but...
All right, cool. Let's give this a buck. So all of a sudden, he's now bisexual. He's always been attracted to men and women, and he's been with women before, but he's only ever been in relationships with men. All right, cool. Why wasn't this a factor last season? That's what I want to know. I mean, to be fair with you, wouldn't you tell your partner that you are bisexual and not gay? The level of wishy-washy with this program is phenomenal. But let's continue.
Michelle, I feel attracted to her, and I actually started feeling some romantic feelings for her. But Michelle didn't feel the same way about me. So we just became really good friends, and I continue, dating Valentine.
All right, cool. Let's just put all this. Let's put everything put everything on the table that we've learned so far. They argue each time they see each other. They are both still got hot tempers, hot-headed. They both want to be the alpha male in the relationship. We've now discovered that Carlos is bisexual. All right, cool. We've also discovered that Carlos had feelings for another person, which was Michelle. But because Michelle doesn't want him, he then continued to be with Valentine. So Valentine is basically second choice to Michelle. All right, cool. So, and Valentine was actually there before Michelle too, right? But guess what, though? They are getting married. Why? Because they just love each other. What's love gotta do? Gotta do with it? And that's a good question, because in this situation here, you can't tell me love is strong enough to hold these two together. But anyway, we continue.
I'm polyamorous. That means I have the capability to love more than one person intensely and passionately. But Carlos felt very threatened by that.
Which is a very good point, because last season, Valentine wanted to bring someone else into the fold. He wanted to bring someone into their relationship. Why? Well, because they are both top and they needed someone to be the bottom. They needed someone to volunteer their... they needed a man to volunteer himself to be the one that gets the pipes, the 2 pipes every day. For God knows how long, how many times a day. Oh, goodness gracious me. That person would never be going to toilet again. But in that relationship, obviously, you know, Carlos made abundantly clear that it's not possible to be in love with more than 2 people or to have feelings for more than 2 people. I am not polyamorous. I want to be one person. But meanwhile, fast forward now, all of a sudden, we're in a situation where Carlos has now had a newfound interest in somebody else at the same time he's in love with Valentine, which obviously does bring to why Valentine's obviously skeptical about Michelle, which makes a lot of sense, right?
And so this situation bothered me because he was expressing to me a great amount of feelings for this person. He didn't have sex with her, but he told me she would lay on his chest and they would have intimate talks and all.
So okay, cool. Let me just hear this out. Obviously, cheating isn't the end of the road for everyone. Being intimate with someone, you know, any kind of way isn't always the end of the road for someone. But here's my thing. If I'm going to marry someone and they have found time to be close to someone on a level of where they are cuddling, all this kind of stuff, things are, you know, in that emotional type of state, am I still going to want to marry that person? Because it tells me that it would tell me that their heart isn't fully invested in me. If a part of the heart could have been invested in somebody else in that way, why am I still going to marry that person? But the fact is, though, in this situation, Carlos said that he's not all about sharing and all that kind of things, but he's the one now doing it. What else needs to be said here?
All of these things, I know he would lose his mind if I told him I was doing that. He's like, no, I love you, I want to be with you. But I told him, but I did not feel comfortable with you hanging out.
Right.
I mean, to be honest, if he's hit the nail on the head there, end of the day, if it was him in this situation doing it, Carlos would not be happy one bit. And we saw that last season. Carlos lost his temper every single time Valentine even breathed a name of another person coming in. He wasn't having none of that stuff. But meanwhile, Carlos is the one that is, he's best friends with his ex. The guy who you saw him speaking to is his ex from 10 years ago. He's best friends with his ex. In the season before, he was also friends with someone else who was also his ex, something like that. He now wants to. He's now got a friend in Michelle. It's like he always has people around him that he's messed with, or he's a fiends for around him. But when it comes to Valentine, it's not allowed. You know what was so crazy about their relationship? Their relationship literally throws out the window. You know when people say that, why is it when women do this, it's allowed, but when a man does it, it's not allowed? Like if a woman was to like a picture of a celebrity or whatever, it's okay. But if a man was to do it, oh, it's a whole big deal, right? Whatever, give or take, right? In this situation right here, because they're both men, because they're both male speeches, we're in a situation where they're kind of throwing that out of the way, because clearly we've got Carlos being, I guess, somewhat of the perspective of the female, and then Valentine's being the perspective of the male. You know what I mean? This is funky as hell, but we continue.
Carlos is not polyamorous and he's developing all of these feelings for Michelle. Then what does that mean about his feelings for me? Is there a chance that he could leave me for Michelle?
I mean, to be honest with you, for me personally, does it even matter? No, because you're still going to marry him. Like, so therefore it should matter, right? It doesn't matter to me in this situation because he's still going to marry him anyway. But in reality, it would matter to me. I'll be like, well, why the hell am I going to marry you if I feel like you might leave me for somebody else? That doesn't make any sense. Like, honestly, their relationship, I don't even know how to even label it. Like, try explaining their relationship with someone that you know. People will be left confused. They'll be like, so why are they still together then? Why didn't you just leave him? I don't know. God damn.
Pero a ti te gusta Michelle.
Actualmente no, o sea, actualmente ella es mi amiga, yo la veo como una amiga, o sea, no pasó nunca nada, o sea, yo tengo una pareja, ella tiene un novio y Valentine no ve nada de eso. Él...
It's funny though, because, you know, he says all these things here, but I want to know if Michelle had wanted him, would he have still stuck around with Valentine? And that's something that Valentine has to put into perspective. If Michelle actually wanted Carlos, what would have Carlos done? You are second fiddle to Michelle. That's it. And the fact that Michelle is still in his life, if Michelle was to break up with her boyfriend, And she said, "Oh, Carlos, I want you now." Yeah. Your marriage is done. Done. And also at the same time, when they get married, Carlos is then going to be moving over to the States. Maybe Valentine hopes that taking Carlos to the States will help him forget all about Michelle. I don't know. But either way, though, it's not healthy.
So he agreed he wasn't going to see her anymore. And I found out a couple months later that they were still hanging out. I felt like betrayed.
Damn, man, the list of reasons of why they shouldn't be together just keeps piling up. So now we're in a situation where trust has also been broken. If Carlos is going to hide the fact that he's still speaking to Michelle from you, clearly means he still has hope for Michelle being his woman at some point. It's just that simple. Hello? What are we missing here? Ah, dear, the calamity. But yeah.
Hace 3 semanas nosotros terminamos. Y yo había cancelado todo este tema del matrimonio.
What?
Yes. Maybe we got back together a few days later.
No. You're about to get married in 2 weeks, and a few weeks ago you broke up?
Should I even speak anymore? Should I speak anymore? Come on, man. Like, this relationship is just damaging. Oh, my God.
I mean, listen to yourself. What happened about Michelle that you broke up over her?
Carlos wants Michelle to come to the wedding.
Tato, ¿estás seguro que te quieres, Michelle? O sea, que Michelle va a ir al matrimonio.
Claro que sí.
I don't know how these two are going to survive the season, to be honest with you. It has not started off it has not started off on a good start whatsoever. At all. Usually I would say, can you make sense out of no sense or whatever? But you know what though? I don't even care to even make sense out of this because it's pointless. It's pointless because they're still going to continue being toxic with one another. You know what's wild, right? Like, being so has a straight man. I really complain about how toxic it can be to be with a woman, right? Give or take, right? But imagine you're someone. It's nice to see that toxicity happens in any relation, no matter the gender's involved, right? That's all I want to say to that. But boy, the level of toxicity that I'm seeing here from this couple, different breed. I've never seen such toxicity before. Maybe I haven't, I just forgotten. But this one right here. How did they survive the show? If they still end up getting married, man, I have no hope for humans, for society.
It hurts that Valentine doesn't trust me when it comes to Michelle, and that he doesn't want one of my closest friends at our wedding.
I don't even want to talk about trust at this point. I don't want to talk about trust. It hurts him that Valentine doesn't trust him, and he wants Valentine to go and spend time with Michelle before the wedding in hopes that they can get along, and therefore he'll be okay with Michelle going to the wedding that he cancelled 3 weeks ago. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Loving Paradise Season 3, Episode 1, and we are already here with a roller coaster. And this is just the first couple. Just wait until I drop more videos and obviously the other couples that appeared as well throughout the week, if you dig what I'm saying. But with that being said, we are done. We are out. Thank you so much for your time. Don't forget to like, sub, and of course,